Good morning, everybody. Look at y'all piling in, having a pre-party. I was talking to Diana and Aggie, and I realized what time it was, and I was like, hell, better go do the show. Good morning, Nene Nut. Where have you been? Joy K. True Crime Beat. True Crime Beat has an announcement for us. She's in Facebook jail. They said she is sharing too many links. True Crime Beat is very upset that Zuckman did that to her. I don't know where Walking Dead is. I just saw her on Facebook a couple of hours ago, and she said there was a high-speed chase outside of her house. And I said, well, what did you do? What'd you do, Walking Dead? Cat OG, thank you for the super sticker. It says, please buy beautiful OJ a pack of treat from Aunt Cat. Then my husband comes in and says, no, he's too fat. He's too fat. He's really been in quite the mood lately. I get up and I haven't even had my first cup of coffee, to get ready for the day. And of course, he has to be fed first. Okay. So then I walk in there to get a cup of coffee as he's already gobbled down his breakfast. He's like right behind me and he knows what cabinet his food is in. And he starts taking his head and he starts rubbing it against the cabinet that his food is in. And I said, no, fat ass, you're not eating again today. Okay? You're not eating again. Okay? You get one breakfast. Then, of course, you get, your brunch when you get your snacky snacks. Then you get your lunch. And then we go from there. But he just wants to eat all friggin' morning. I don't know where he is right now. Goodness. Let's take a second, tell everybody hello. And I'm going to tell you, it melts my heart, warms my heart that you all are here for Summer Wells. Because we know this case has been going on for over 3.5 years. Or as Candace would say, 4 going on 5. About 4 going on 5. But you guys are here because you care. And you're always here for the right reasons. Let's tell everybody, hola. And look at that. I missed it when I was getting the show ready. Zach Walker. Hey, are you feeling better? I know your kids got you sick. Gifted 10 Crime Lines and Laws memberships. This is awesome. Who all got a membership? If you got a membership this morning when I wasn't paying attention, which happens, don't take it personal. You can thank our buddy Zach Walker. All right, so this is where we're at. The last article that came out, and I believe it was in the Daily Mail, if I'm remembering correctly. Remember in the beginning of Summer's case, there was lots of information coming out. We couldn't make heads or tails what was going on. Did she get lost in the woods? Someone snatch her? Something happened at the house? People were talking about accidents that got covered up. But they were having press conferences every day. And the one that really stuck out to me is when they said, usually in the first couple of days of a disappearance, we know which way we're aiming. But they say this is so outside the norm, we don't know. We don't know. The last article, they said everything's on the table. But, big but, and not a big butt like OJ has, because he's getting some ass cheeks on him. We have ruled off her wandering off and getting lost. We have ruled out an abduction. Our agency and the FBI card unit. So that leaves something foul. And covering up an accident would be foul. And we saw with the Evelyn Boswell case and several others that TBI is a very good agency. They know their shit, but they got quite a conundrum here. Quite a conundrum. Meerkamp, member for 20 months. She said 20 months with the best channel and friends. I love that. True Crime Beat, who's also in Facebook jail right now and is very mad about it, said, "We will never give up on you, Summer." Thank you, True Crime Beat. Zach Walker said, "Summer strong." I love it. I love it. Just Wimbles, girl, I've missed you. Where you been? I'm going to start getting the U.S. Marshals after some of you. She said, "If it was an abduction, wouldn't there have been a ransom before now?" You would think. Wouldn't there be something? DT Driver thinks he has the wrong badge. DT Driver, send me an email and I will forward it to our customer service department. I'm not sure who's on duty today, if Kat will get it or Pat K, but your problem will be addressed today. So you know my email address, DT Driver. You'll be first in the queue because, well, we sleep together. All right, let's start with it. Here we go. We got to handle some of his damn problems.
Wells' Amber Alert disappearance continues to get national attention on the Dr. Phil show. One goal among all involved has remained the same, that they hope that little girl will be found soon and found safe.
This summer has captured the hearts of so many, including those here at News Channel 11. Ansley Daniel discusses the toll this has.
Matter of fact, Mod Squad, I need some volunteers for customer service, because there's one woman in particular that lives in the United Kingdom that kind of feels like old Cat OG doesn't handle her concerns just right. And I actually live for it. DT Driver will not be doing it. Forget it. No way. No way. No way. Carrie Hall, Summer needs to be found. You're right. You're right. Hello, who knows? Yeah, we gotta get this customer service department going. Don't worry though, Greg, my husband, DT Driver, you will be first in queue.
Is taken not only on investigators, but Summer's family as well.
From local news to Court TV, YouTube, and now Dr. Phil, the disappearance of Summer Wells is going beyond the beach.
Okay, hold on. DT Driver is saying that he was the original member. No, the original member was Pat K. Then I think Barb Murray. Then Kat. I'd have to go look again. You were the one that just thought you would just automatically get one because you've seen me naked. And I told you, I want my $2 or you're not coming to my member shows. So you finally hawked up the $2. That's the reason you have that badge. Membership comes with privileges, DT Driver.
Creek community of Hawkins County, all with one goal though, for her to be found.
We would rather not do these things at all. We'd rather our life to go back to normal, and we just wish Summer could come home.
The Wells' recent trip to LA to film for Dr. Phil.
And when that's something. Crack and new teeth. Crack, new teeth, and Spider-Man. Woo!
Brought up a lot of pain from the months their daughter went missing.
Just brought up a lot of emotion, very emotional.
The older children of the Wells family are in custody of Child Protective Services, a continual reminder of their lives being upside down, especially during the filming.
All these kids running around on that beach just having a awesome time, and here we are alone. Well, it seems like alone when you ain't got your kids, when you've had them all this time, and then all of a sudden you don't have them.
Okay, let's talk about that. Now, I want you guys to work through this with me. I only have a few examples, but as far as we know and have been told and has been heavily reported, Candace has lost children in 3 different states: Wisconsin, Arkansas, and Tennessee. With a quickness, well, as quick as they work, okay? As quick as they work. Once the Amber Alert, it is still in effect, but the woman at TBI that only handles Amber Alerts, once she was taken off the case, it was very telling to me, because no longer are we looking at abduction, like somebody took her. Okay? The boys are removed. Now let's look at some other cases. Harmony Montgomery. Horrible, horrible case. Horrible case. Once it was discovered she was missing, all the other kids were removed. Oakley Carlson. Once it was discovered she was missing, they took all the kids. There are several others. Child goes missing. They realize something foul is in the air. They take the other kids for their safety. Now, if you look at Sebastian Rogers, this has not happened. They even allowed Faith, a little girl, to travel to another state to spend part of the summer with Chris and Katie. I remember when I first started getting into the Michael Vaughn case, people were screaming for CPS to come and take the other children. And I kept thinking, why? They're saying abduction, and now we know there's 4 suspects. And I mean, Candace sitting here popping a squat. Popping a squat. Look at that. Goodness. 9 Lives Mama, thank you for gifting 5 Crime Lines and memberships. We got 15 today. Y'all making me blush. Get your umbrellas. Rhonda B. Dangles and I have talked about this quite a bit. And right, that's a big deal. That's a huge deal when they remove the children. They obviously know something we don't know. Daisy Girl, what a beautiful name. I love daisies. Well, some daisies, if you follow me, if you know what I mean. Thank you for the Crime Lines and Lies membership.
As Summer's parents make their plea on national television for people to share information about what happened to their daughter, media requests to investigators about the case from Beech Creek have also piled in.
The media, not only in Upper East Tennessee, but Middle Tennessee and Fox News and everybody else contact me in my office with information about this.
Have you ever encountered anything like this in your career?
I'm talking about missing child to this magnitude, no. I've been through a lot in the last 44 years, seen a lot, investigated a lot, but this is one of the top ones.
The magnitude also spreading to social media and content creators.
But it's definitely a top one for them now. Definitely. I mean, they put a whole new agent on the case, even though Lisa K. Ruitt said he's been there the whole time. I forgot that she knows all the ins and outs of law enforcement. How dare I say someone's new on the case? And when Josh Melton said, we ruled out her wandering off, we ruled out abduction, but everything's still on the table. If the evidence leads us back that way, then of course we'll have to investigate it. Someone said, I can't remember who it was, I don't know if they called the TBI or if this is an internet rumor, nothing surprises me, that they know what happened. They just need the evidence. They need that final tie to get the shoe tied, if you know what I mean. And that's common.
On YouTube, oftentimes allowing rumors to spread.
Majority of it's been a hindrance because a lot of the information that we get is the same information we've went over time after time after time. We really don't pay a whole lot of attention to social media because it has really nothing to do with this case because, like I said, 99% of it's false.
The toll
that leaves a void in your life because we want to find her.
And wonder of what happened to Summer, even when in California for Dr. Phil, weighs heavy.
You realize Summer is somewhere that she's probably doesn't want to be, probably locked up or being, hurt in some way. And
he's so eloquent. He's so eloquent. Yes, these things I imagine of a You have a child that's missing, but there's some thoughts you just wouldn't want to enter your head. And he is so descriptive about it. Locked in a basement, getting hit with hammers, probably in a motel somewhere. You know, this is his dirty mind. But remember, right off the bat, they said she just got gone. There was no hope to find her. She just got gone.
California for Dr. Phil weighs heavy.
You realize Summer is somewhere that she's probably doesn't want to be, probably locked up or being, hurt in some way. And when we're there on that beautiful beach and our daughter is who knows where.
You can watch all of our recent stories as well as everything dating back to the night she was reported missing on the Search for Summer section of our website.
And of course, we do still have an active Amber Alert. She just got gone, buddy. Hang on, I have to sneeze. I don't know where that came from. Felt like from my toes. DT driver, that's so sweet. He said he has mixed emotions today. He said, super happy, Brooks, you continue to cover this. Super sad, you still have to continue to cover this. Isn't that the truth? He's still trying to get first in line for his customer service problem. Or he's trying to get in my pants. I don't know. Again.
8 weeks since the family of Hawkins County 5-year-old Summer Wells.
Obviously, this is old because they said it's been 8 weeks.
Reported her missing.
Law enforcement wants the public to know their investigation into Summer's disappearance is still going on tonight. Summer Wells was reported missing by her family on the evening of June 15th. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation issued an Amber Alert the next day. For several weeks following, hundreds of rescue personnel performed a ground search in the immediate area near her Beach Creek community home in Hawkins County. While the search not as visible as before, Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson today said that he and his officers have not given up on finding her.
I understand people's curiosity about where we're at in the case as far as investigation. I know people speculate.
Okay, we have a whole playlist for Summer Wells. And in the beginning, I thought it's common for kids to get lost in the woods. And they have a lot of woods. I wasn't impressed with Candace. No lie, I wasn't. I didn't like her stories changing. I didn't like that at all. At all. Of course, she was hacked. Always getting hacked. Because the story kept changing from Candace. This is her arguing with people. Which, hey, I'd stand up for myself too if I hadn't done anything wrong. But my story wouldn't change. It can't be more than one thing. It can't be more. Now, again, rumors run rampant, and they are saying that they're about to get like a whole new administration there in Hawkins County. That's what Muscles and Mascara told me. She talked to somebody that's getting ready to be coming in. I don't know who. But they said that will be their number one priority. Because what in that little county could be more important than this little girl missing? What?
And I understand that, but they have to understand our number one goal from day one is to find Summer, and everybody's still a suspect, person of interest, however you want to put it, and we're still.
Kimberly Deaney has a question. She says, how's that good old boy got 40 years plus on? Did he have to be a detective first? Well, Fine Art on Fire is from this area. He lives in a different state now. He said it's almost like the job is handed down. He said, now this is what he said. I don't know. I don't live there. He said, Ronnie Lawson, he said, his daddy was the sheriff. Then his daddy was the sheriff. You know? Zach Walker, can I membership gift to Dawn and Candace? Have at it. Yes. Yes. Come on. Join the party. Go get Dawn and Candace. Come on, bring them in.
Still very intensely looking into it.
Investigators are still hoping to hear from someone that may have a critical piece of information that leads them to Summer. You're asked to submit credible information by calling 1-800-TBI-FIND or email tips@tbi.tn.gov.
Mm-hmm. Now, there's a little boy missing. His name is Dane. I think it's in Oregon. I'm kind of behind on a few things. And I keep hearing the usual suspects saying, oh, look, at least they're updating the community. Nobody ever gives updates about Sebastian. They gave a ton of updates last year. But when there's no updates to give, then there's no update to give. You want them just to make shit up? Like they're an admin on a Facebook group? Just like Summer. In the beginning, we had a lot of info. Not the info we wanted, not as much as we wanted, but they were pretty transparent. We could connect the dots. What was going on?
Breaking news at 6, day 9 in the search for 5-year-old Summer Wells, and investigators say they are heartbroken and extremely frustrated as the case is taking longer than usual to resolve. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Sarah Diamond.
I'm Josh Smith. Take a look at some new photos of Summer Wells that we obtained today.
Heartbreaking. And mark my words, watch the after show comments. Watch them. Well, hey, plead the fifth. Woo. Missed you too. I'm going to get somebody that's going to come in there. By the way, if you're watching on the replay, leave me a comment. I love what you all have to say. I love hearing it. But someone's going to come in and go, aren't there other missing kids? Haven't you figured out yet they're never going to find Summer? Haven't you figured out they're never going to find Summer and you just want to keep trashing this family? How would you like it if that happened to you? I'm not under suspicion for foul play. And yes, I do care about this beautiful little girl.
Summer's mother shared these with us. In a news briefing late this afternoon, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation said the search for Summer is, quote, definitely outside the norm when it comes to the standard amount of time for a missing persons case like this.
Typically, in an investigation like this one, we have some idea of where the case is headed and what might have happened within a few days. In this situation, despite doing everything within our power and exploring all avenues, the circumstances leading to Summer's disappearance remain unclear.
This is such an important statement, and Leslie sounds almost breathless. I'm assuming their update knocked her socks off a little bit, okay? A lot of stuff started coming out the first, 72 hours. Listen to her again. Usually, within the first days, we have a good idea what happened. She goes on to say, but this case is outside the norm. Have we seen a normal freaking person in this case yet? Bueller? Anyone? Have we seen a normal person in this case? Do you think that could be part of the problem of solving it?
Case like this.
Typically, in an investigation like this one, we have some idea of where the case is headed and what might have happened within a few days. In this situation, despite doing everything within our power and exploring all avenues, the circumstances leading to Summer's disappearance remain unclear.
News Channel 11's John Janko is at today's news briefing. John, are investigators hopeful at this point that they will find Summer?
Sarah and Josh, while search teams and investigators are physically and mentally exhausted, I can tell you that they all remain hopeful. Leslie, at this point in the search and investigation, do you believe Summer Wells is still alive?
We hope.
Okay. This is very hard to hear. Good morning to Candace Prim. Hey, Cypher Owl. Still Waters. What's up, girl? So he asks a very harsh question, but it needs to be asked. Because she's on the team. She talks to investigators. Do you think she's still alive? Now watch her face. I know sometimes we're just listening, but sometimes when you actually watch the mannerisms, you can get the answer before the words come out.
A search and investigation. Do you believe Summer Wells is still alive?
We hope so, but honestly, we just don't know.
We hope so, but honestly, we just don't know. Why? Because the dogs can't track her? Because your heat-seeking drones couldn't find her? Because even military planes that were brought in months later couldn't find her, which she wouldn't have known about that at the time? Because your military grid search came up with not even a swatch of clothing? Not even nothing.
I mean, we're holding out hope, doing everything we can.
She's shaking her head no, everybody. We're holding out hope, but she's just shaking her head no. That was a real punch in the gut when I heard that. Because I really wanted this little girl to have a happy life.
Obviously, we typically would have found a child at this stage in the investigation. So honestly, we just don't know.
Okay, that is so important to know with a 5-year-old. Okay, there's a big difference in ages. A 5-year-old, she said, at this point, we would have found her. Okay, now we're going to put the big if in the sentence. If she just wandered off on her own, we would have found her.
Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson again made a plea to those who live in Beach Creek, Sullivan, and Hawkins counties to check and recheck their security or trail cam footage. In the desperate search for Summer Wells, he also had another request.
So if the general public that lives in this area will go back and search their outbuildings, their barns, their hay fields, that's mowing season, so when they mow, they need to pay attention. And if you have a resident that cannot search their property themselves, if they'll call my office at 423-272-4848, I will send an officer to your residence to search your property for you.
106 agencies are participating in the search for
106 agencies are participating in the search for Summer Wells. This was back in the day. This was back in June of 2021. 106 agencies. Now I ask the question, when Candace, within 2 minutes, couldn't find Summer, why did she tell her mother she's just gone? Why did Grandis say, I knew she was just gone? And I said to myself, not again. Don's very first interview, he said, she's just gone, buddy. She's just gone, buddy. 106 agencies. And there's still a few people that want to fight with me about that and say, she just wandered off. Okay, the TBI said if she just walked away on her own, okay, by now we would have found her. Something else is going on. Zach Walker said if Colorado can find Suzanne Morphew, Tennessee can find Summer. You would think, not to confuse the two cases, but Suzanne was murdered. When somebody doesn't want you to find something, they get real inventive on how to hide it. Y'all ever hid Christmas presents from your kids? If you don't want someone to find something, you're going to cover all your tracks.
Summer Wells, you're looking at new video the TBI released this afternoon of crews conducting line searches in the Beach Creek area near where Summer was last seen. The TBI says the purpose of these searches is to ensure every inch of ground has been covered. They've covered about 4.6 square miles of terrain so far. That's about 3,000 acres. Captain Tim Coop of the Church Hill Rescue Squad says they've covered multiple ground multiple times. He said different eyes in different search teams may discover something someone else didn't notice. Live in the Beach Creek community, John Jenko, News Channel 11.
She's just gone. She's just gone. She's just gone. Oh, Diana Howery, that is way, way too much. This case is so close to Diana's heart. Sometimes she will just tear up talking about Summer. I think a lot of us can say the same thing because, I mean, let's face it. There's probably hundreds of people live right now about other cases, and you all are here for Summer. You're awesome, Diana. Thank you so much. All right, so we hear all that information, okay? We hear all that information from Cue Ball, Ronnie Lawson, TBI. Leslie looked out of breath. And when she was asked, do you think if she's alive? Well, and she just instantly starts shaking her head. No. I mean, we hope so, but this case is outside the norm. Now remember, this is June 18th, 3 days after Summer disappeared. This is Dawn's demeanor. Now remember, the same day, Dawn drove over to Dudley's house to give him the remainder of his paycheck, as if Dawn is that fiscally responsible and has that type of morality to do the right thing, okay? He went there to find out what the FBI were asking him, okay? The 17th, Candace rolled up on Hunter and Allie's house to ask what they had been saying to the TBI. Allie calls TBI. This is what she said when she was doing a live, I think, with McDonough. And called them. They called back. They wanted to know what she was driving and reminded her again, we have requested that you all do not talk to Candace. They didn't say Grandis. They didn't say Dawn. They said, we can't have you talking to Candace, but please keep us informed. Candace Prim, you are awesome. Maria O'Sullivan, you are awesome. Woo, you guys are making me blush.
I would be interested in knowing what happened that day. I know it's going to be hard for me to have to relive, but... Well, sir, I was at work, but from what my wife has told me and stuff, her and her mother and Summer were planting flowers by her grandma's trailer, which is about, 20 feet from the house there, real close to the house. And Summer all of a sudden said, Mom, I want to go in the house. So she said, fine. And her brothers were in there watching YouTube. And so she watched her walk in the door and went in there. And then she went in there and her brother said that she was going to go downstairs and play with her toys. So she went downstairs and then Mom come in and says, where's Summer? Well, she's downstairs playing with her toys. And they hollered for her and there was no answer. So she went downstairs and she was nowhere to be found. She went out the basement door. The door was unlocked, but she's never left.
The picture I saw of the cactus, the succulents, whatever you want to call it, had weeds in it. Okay? Now I understand weeds grow fast, but not that fast. So that in itself is a lie, my friends. That in itself is a lie. I go back to what Peter Hyatt, may he rest in peace, said about Dawn speaking. Of course, advocate for your child. I want my child found, blah, blah, blah. But he said he can't be the historian because he was at work. He cannot reiterate something Candace said that could be untrue. It does not help Summer's case.
She might be on the other side of the house. Because I went out there before and called for her, and she come out from behind the house because she just has to be outside. She's an outside type of person, you know. But she was gone, buddy. And my wife called me.
Right there. He goes, but she was gone, buddy. My wife called me. And we know how the story unfolded from there. Amanda Chesney. I have never thought about this. This is an amazing point. CPS was there on the 14th. Now, according to Trusty Tim, he said they just closed the case that day. Don said they were coming back on the 16th. You're so right, Amanda. If CPS saw Summer on the 14th, then they would not want to come back on the 16th. It was specific, according to Don, to Clyde Trent. They were coming back on the 16th, and it involved Summer. I've always, sometimes the simplest, what they call it, Occam's razor or whatever, that makes the most sense to me. Okay, Summer's 5 years old. CPS shows up. Why would Candace hide her out? Don't get me wrong. You can shut the door and be like, you're not coming in here. But for them to say, no, we're coming back on the 16th. We'll get a warrant if we have to. We'll bring deputies. But he goes, she's just gone, buddy. She's just gone, buddy.
And I said, hang up for me and call 911 right now. And I was at work and I called 911, threw all my tools that I could in the vehicle, and from Jonesboro, I come out. I made it out here before anybody because I was freaking out, And when I got home, I drove to the bottom property. And I realized that all my neighbors and stuff were combing the woods looking for her, and I realized right then and there that she was not there. I knew right then and there that she was gone.
Has anybody ever lost sight of their child before? In the store, at the zoo, in the yard? Did you just immediately say they're just gone? I don't know who Smoking Molly Colley is. Looks like Angel P took care of that. Thank you, Angel P. That's just gross. Anybody? I mean, we've lost sight of our children before. We panic and we start looking. We're yelling and everything like that. They're like, just gone. She's just gone. Candace Prim, thank you for the super sticker. And nothing would surprise me. Of course we panic. Not these fools. He goes, all the neighbors were out combing the woods. Now let's talk about their neighbors. Okay, and this is verified. You got Jody, you got Andy, you got Fred the newlywed. I don't know if Laura was there, but people were trying to find her. He said he knew right then she was just gone. Now, this is within just a few hours of her disappearance. What makes you think she's just gone?
I just, because she would never leave there on her own. Somebody had taken her out.
That's what I was going to ask you. Is she capable of
No.
going through? They've covered miles of area to search.
No, she would never leave because for one thing, we have bears and wild dogs, and we got druggies that, come around other people's houses.
Okay, we've heard about the snakes and the bears and the coyotes. Hold on. I had to sneeze again. Jeez. We've heard about the snakes and the bears and the coyotes. But Don, he always knows how to pump it up. But we also got wild dogs and druggies. Got wild dogs and druggies. Like when he was talking about how he had to get up in the middle of the night and run off all those math heads. Got wild dogs and druggies. You're the druggie. You have wild dogs, but your wild dogs weren't there that day. Remember? The dogs weren't home. That was one of the most almost hilarious statements I've ever heard. The dogs weren't home that day.
Stuff, all hours of the night, but this was like at 5:30 in the evening, which makes me think, someone was laying in wait. I've heard somebody say that these people track kids down on Facebook and find them, and I've heard that story. I mean, I don't know, but all I know is she's definitely not anywhere around there. I think somebody's abducted her and took her out of the area.
Wow. Well, have you noticed anybody?
Yeah, the dogs weren't home. They don't get their animals fixed. And I'm not trying to disturb anybody to say something offensive, but it just has to be said. Got wild dogs. Okay. These dogs, they don't, like I said, they're not proper pet owners. They're not proper parents. We know they're not because their kids have been taken. But we also know they're not responsible pet owners. Okay, we've heard all the stories. None of these dogs are fixed. They all, mind you, they're animals. Okay? So these dogs start getting with each other. Okay? So could you imagine all these inbred dogs out there on vacation since they were off that day? Laying in their lounge chairs, sunglasses on, putting on their tannin lotion, drinking a Mai Tai. No. And how many times is the Humane Society of Hawkins County going to go to the Wells house and take yet another animal from them and not charge them with animal cruelty?
Vicious?
No, and and they've done such a good job. They followed every single lead possible. They have tracked down all kinds of people. Yeah, they've tracked down everybody. They even, had me in there, lie detector tests on all 9 yards.
They have to rule out every possibility.
Yes, absolutely. So it didn't bother me to do it whatsoever. I understand that. And a lot of times the parents are responsible.
It's recent history that's been the case. Or like a family member.
Right, absolutely, yes.
So Jeff Bobo, that's who's interviewing Dawn. Remember, 3 days after Summer went missing. He said, in a lot of cases, that turns out to be the case. That statement didn't at all curl Dawn's toes. He goes, yep. That's what sometimes happens. But I knew when I pulled up, the dogs were gone. They were all on vacation. I saw the neighbors in the woods, and I just knew that's it. She's gone. Candace Prim said no way she was taken because those dogs would have tore someone up or at least caused a ruckus. I thought they were going to tear up old Chris McDonough when he showed up. We know they were there that night because Candace got mad because the authorities had to bring their dogs. And that was upsetting her dogs. So her dogs just happened to get back when the police got there. No, the dogs were there.
But we don't associate with all that people. We try to associate with church people and stuff like that, And Summers, they got a lot of friends in church. They just love her to death,
Where do y'all go to church?
Seventh-day Adventist, right across the street from Walmart, there in Kingsport.
Oh.
Yeah, we was going to the Baptist church, but when I found out the true Sabbath on Saturday, I wanted to go to Saturday going to church, so I thought I'd go check them out one time, and we've been there ever since.
Oh, wow. What have you all been doing while this has all been going on?
Just trying to cope. Just trying to cope with it.
He's so full of it. Okay. Jeff Bobo. So what have you guys been doing since all this happened? Since Summer went missing. Just trying to cope. Just trying to cope. Candace is at the water park today with her mom. I went and tried to do a shakedown on Dudley. Candace went over to ask Hunter after she got a new phone because the authorities took our cell phones. Went over to find out what Hunter's been telling people. But just trying to cope. This is stamped June 18th, 2021. You can clearly see where it says water park. Candace with a huge shit-eating grin on her face next to her mom. Going to the water park. Getting on the slicker slides. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm talking to the police. I can't be alone right now for some reason, and so if I have to, I'll go down there and talk to the police and just hang out with them, because I just can't be alone right now. I don't know. I just
How are Summer's brothers?
Okay. Your opinion only. When Don said he doesn't like to be alone, okay, so he goes and he talks to the police. You think he's trying to find out what they know? Or do you think he was really trying to help them in the search for Summer? Kimberly Van, thank you for the Crime Lines and Lies memberships. Look at that. Bish Please got one. Lucy J. True Love has 4 paws. Kim 0509. Denise W. Y'all, tell you what.
Doing?
They're coping with it better than me and their mother are. I don't understand that, but when they really think about it, they're upset, but they're coping with it way better. Especially the youngest one. It's like I don't know. It's weird to me, but
it doesn't seem real to them.
Yeah. But me, the most I've done is watch the news a little bit. I can't focus on nothing. Originally I'm from Utah, and I met my wife in Arkansas, and we come out here to help my mother because she got sick, and then she ended up dying from, I can't remember what it's called, but anyways.
A lot of speculation, I guess that's our word of the day. They came to help his mother who was sick. Now, mind you, he got 11 acres and a house out of this. Candace was the caregiver, and many people have speculated, how did the mom die so quick when Candace got there? Like, what's going on? Is it because they wanted the 11 acres in the house? What happened? Supposedly she had MRSA. CJK. Oops. I took that down. CJK had a question. I didn't mean to take it down. What are people's theories on this? Everybody has a different one. Some people are like, I think they missed something and she truly was abducted. Some people are like, nah, it's a cover-up with an accident. Some people are like, maybe Candace flew off the handle. I don't know.
So, but she left us that property, and we've been there ever since.
Okay.
We've made Tennessee our home. There's a lot of good people here.
When did y'all move here?
About 13 years ago from Arkansas. I was about to help my mother because she was in need.
So your kids, this has been their only home then?
Yes, sir.
Born and raised?
Yes, sir. All except for my oldest one. He was born in Arkansas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the rest, I think, the rest were all born here, yes.
And does your wife have a Wisconsin connection?
Yeah, Well, her sister, my wife's sister come up missing, like, I don't remember how many years ago it was, but they never found no trace of her either.
Where was that?
I don't know. I really don't know. They never pay attention to any of that part of it. But,
yeah. Do you know where she grew up in Wisconsin?
I sure don't. I'm sorry. Well, yeah, I have a criminal history. I do, when I was in Utah, when I was younger, but I've turned my life around, doing my best to be a commandment keeper, for sure. Okay. Me and myself, they can do whatever they want to me as long as my kids are safe, that's how I feel.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and so what is your plan now? I mean, what is your outlook?
Well, my only plan now is just, no matter what happens, either way, I'm stay in church, be a commandment keeper, and wait for the resurrection day, buddy.
Yeah.
That's all we can all do,
Do you have hope for Summer being found?
Well, I have hope, but, statistically speaking, and looking at it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tough thing to think about.
Well, yeah, of course. I'd feel for anybody in that position. I'm sure you would too.
Absolutely.
Any kid that's being tortured or hurt in any way, and missing their parents and their good friends in church and stuff like that. Just unimaginable what she's going
through. Again. Back to that sick imagination. The commandment keeper. I just try to be a commandment keeper. Just, what she's going through. Just what she's going through. It'll all come out someday. And it's going to be shocking. Because it's shocking every time. As much as we think and theorize and give opinions and discuss and have conversations. When the truth comes out, that's when we go, oh, hell.
Yeah.
The only thing I pray for is for peace for her somehow. I wish she could have got to know Jesus. But
hold on. Nene Nutnut said, how come Don wouldn't answer Dr. Phil when he asked if Candace was the biological mother of all of his kids? Well, that should be an easy enough statement because she's not. They have 4 children together. He has children with Pam Wells. So Candace is not the biological mother of all his kids. I don't remember if Dr. Phil asked him that, though. I have to go back and look.
Better or something, but she's so young. She don't know what all that stuff means in church, but
I don't think God holds that against children.
Oh, no.
And this is one of the most disturbing statements I've ever heard in my life. Summer doesn't pay that much attention in church, so she doesn't really know what's going on. And I love how Jeff Bobo goes, God doesn't hold that against children. No. So on top of your imagination, trying to picture Summer being tortured, held against her will, in a basement, in a motel, besides all that stuff, hammers, essay, all that stuff. He's also damning her to hell. Okay, but he believes in the resurrection.
No, not at all. I just wish she had peace of mind. That's all.
Do you have any hope that this is all going to end well?
Well, I have hope, buddy, but you looked at the statistics of it all. I mean, through our church and other churches, the worldwide prayer, was going on for her. So, plus all the law enforcement agents are praying, and everybody, we're just hoping that God will turn it around, somehow, some miraculous way. But,
Okay. All right. Well, I know I'm taking up a lot of your time, and I really appreciate your time.
You're fine, buddy. Thank you so much.
Take care, and I'm praying for you, and I'm praying for your family.
Well, he's like, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I mean, you obviously have a lot going on. Your daughter's missing. Candace is probably putting some aloe vera on her right now because she was at the water park today. He goes, oh, you're fine, buddy. You're fine, buddy. And I loved the questions that Jeff Bobo was asking him. I loved it. Okay, so that's Dawn's take. That's Dawn's take on the case as we know it on June 18th. I don't know who gives up hope after 3 days to find their child, but he gave up hope when he pulled up and he saw the neighbors, he said, combing the woods. Now, this is what the authorities are saying. I promise this will make sense in a minute.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Leslie Earhart, a public information officer with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. Thank you for being here and continuing to cover the search for 5-year-old Summer Wells. Unfortunately, we don't have any significant updates to provide as Summer is still missing, but we did want to share the latest on the investigation and the ongoing search. As you know, she's now the subject of a statewide Amber Alert. She was last seen outside of her home in the 100 block of Ben Hill Road, which is located in the Beech Creek community of Hawkins County. A family member reported her missing to the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office at approximately 6:30 Tuesday evening.
Okay, important. Can everybody see Grasshopper? Because she said, am I blocked for some reason? No, you're not blocked. We see you, girlfriend. So 6:30 Tuesday evening, June 15th, 2021. Now then, we know that Ronnie, Cue Ball Ronnie, was speaking to a woman that used to work in the department and said, yeah, I know you're on YouTube and you watch all this stuff. Ask them why it took them so long to report her missing. Okay. There was also a slip in one of these conferences where Leslie said she went missing early afternoon on Tuesday. We've had a lot of conversations on here about what do you consider early afternoon? I'd say like noon to 3. You know, I might push it to 4. I don't know. Thank you, Mir Camp, for the Crime Lines and Lies membership.
At the time she went missing, Summer was reportedly wearing a gray pants and a pink shirt. She is believed to be barefoot. We do want to encourage the public, especially residents living in the area of Ben Hill Road, to check any trail cameras or security cameras that they might have that could have captured Summer on video or in photographs. We also encourage residents to check any crawl spaces, outbuildings, or sheds that would make for good hiding places. As we mentioned, the search is ongoing. There are a number of agencies involved. I'm going to turn it over to Sheriff Ronnie Lawson to talk more about the search and the conditions that authorities are up against. Sheriff.
Thank you. It's been a very intense 21 hours of a lot of searching, a lot of investigation by 19 different agencies. Last night, we had...
Okay, so Dawn said she just gone. I got home. Of course, we know he checked the shed. I'll never get over that statement. Hey, check everything. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Okay, so they're saying we're not just searching, we're investigating. We have 19 agencies behind this. We have 106 agencies looking for her. Math time, that's a lot.
Approximately 60 to 80 people searching in the woods with a number of law enforcement officers doing the investigation also. Today, we've had over 100 people in the woods searching throughout the whole region. We also have agents with the TBI and the FBI assisting my office. We jointly investigating this whole circumstance. Our main goal is to find Summer and find her safe. We have plenty of help. We don't need any assistance from the local people. We have the professional people out searching, and we just appreciate everybody, their contributions. It's been a tremendous outpour from the community with the water, the food, and the snacks. It's just overwhelming, and it's a very intense investigation. I know the public needs to know things, but it's ongoing, and we will release things as we can when we can. But our main goal right now is to find Summer.
We'll take a couple of questions, but keep in mind we can't discuss specifics of the investigation. Can you talk about the area back here?
Absolutely. It's very dense. The terrain is tremendously hard. We have virtually no cell phone service. The radio system we use, which is not that good,
We had a lady that would come on quite a bit, and she would talk about, what was her name? I think Tennessee Truth. And she's in that area. And she feels like the cell phone problem could be a problem. Not that Summer had a cell phone.
Have very little radio communication. We do have several command posts setting up, but what makes it so hard is communication between the boots on the ground, searching the woods, and the different agencies and officers, and it's very hard to communicate. And we're not like we're in these small towns or in towns where you got a lot of cell service, and just for instance, when we get texts from the media, you may text and we may get it an hour later, and we have no way to reply to it. And the same way with the officers, and the ECOM Central Dispatch has done an excellent job. TBI has their command post that should arrive soon, and we're going to continue on until we find Summer and put this case to rest.
Do you believe there was foul?
Okay, they're getting ready to ask the big question. Do you believe there was foul play? You're going to have to watch cue ball here. Okay, so we hear Don saying, we've heard him say it before, resurrection, they're not going to find her, they don't have any evidence. You don't know that. They're just not telling you. She was just gone. I knew when I got there, she was just gone. I always knew she would be gone someday. I think again about what Amanda said earlier in the show when she said, did they just not get to see Summer when they were there on the 14th? Is that why Dawn was so upset when Candace messaged him and said CPS is here and they want to see Summer? Is that why they were coming back on the 16th? Because they knew they were going to have some backup? I don't know. It really makes a lot of sense to me.
Foul play involved? Is there any history with this family?
The family are cooperating, and it's really too early to tell. We're still basically gathering information, and we're in the search mode right now.
Around 11 this morning, it's switched from missing child alert to an Amber alert. What goes into the decision of putting that Amber alert out? Can you clarify the difference between the two?
Sure. After the initial search and as we developed more information as part of the investigation, our team made the decision to elevate the alert to an Amber.
And what's the difference between those two alerts?
An endangered child alert is a mid-level alert.
Totally off topic. Totally off topic. But I do wonder what kind of mascara Leslie uses, because these aren't fake eyelashes. So obviously she was blessed with good eyelashes. But I mean, to accentuate them, you have to have good mascara. I think I'm going to tweet her, because I'm actually learning how to use it, and ask her what mascara she uses. Because you have to admit, those are some very pretty eyelashes. Not like my stubby spider legs I got sticking out of my face.
Where a child could potentially be in danger. An Amber Alert is, we issue those when we believe a child is in imminent danger of bodily harm or death. And it's the most severe alert.
Since it appeared to be that she walked away from the home, why was it upgraded to an Amber Alert? Can you clarify that just a little bit more?
Well, the bottom line is we don't know where she is at this time. Again, there was the initial search, we acted, and the sheriff's office acted on the information available at the time. And as we learned more in the first several hours into today, it led us to issue an Amber Alert.
Well, when the Amber Alert was issued, you said there was new information that led you to believe that Summer might be in more danger. Can you expand on that a little bit?
I can't. That's part of the investigation.
Sheriff Lawson mentioned earlier that he's asking community folks to, if you have enough resources here, what's your message to the community that they feel like they want to help in some regard? How can they help at this time?
If they see something or know something, they need to tell somebody. That's the biggest thing. A lot of people don't want to get involved. They want to reply to us or respond anonymously. That's fine, as long as we find Summer. That's the main thing right now. And we're talking about the Amber Alert. When they raise that up another level, that helps more people paying more attention. You get more clues, you get more calls, and then everybody can call that 1-800-TBI find, and it all goes into a database, which helps us in an area where we don't have a lot of communication anyway. So it helps TBI.
Okay, again, off topic, and I promise I'll go to this. Our girl Sal, goodness, Sal, how long have you been a member? Says, I have extensions and my lashes look real. They do when you get them professionally done. I don't know if Kat remembers this, but a few years ago, I was looking into getting eyelash extensions. And they were like, well, actually, we need models. I'm like, Mawa? You want me to be a model? So, I mean, I'm picturing myself in a George Michael video with like Claudia Schiffer, Cindy Crawford, and they're like, and we'll pay you $25. I'm like, for free lashes? Okay, you get the lashes, but the $25 can only be used to purchase product in there. Yeah. So it was like $35 for that eyelash shit where you can, clean them so they don't come out. Yeah. Didn't even take my picture for their website.
FBI helps us with that.
And we know the FBI was called in fairly early. Can you kind of explain why that decision was made?
Well, we have an excellent relationship working together, and just like that, this case stems outside of Hawkins County, then you have the TBI to help with that. But if it expands on out past the state of Tennessee, then you got the FBI. So we're all on the same page, and we just keep on going. We're just working together as a team. All have the same goal. Let's find Summer.
One more question.
Can you expand on maybe just the area where you guys are searching? Maybe if people see something in a certain area, they should be on a heightened alert if they're in a certain area or part of town.
Sure. Can you expand on the area?
Well, the train and stuff is like you see here. This is what people are searching in. But if they seen something yesterday evening or afternoon that we need to know, that's when they need to make the call or come by the command post.
Kind of landmarks and sort of an area that you're searching
specifically? Just around Ben Hill Road in that area. That's the main, because she's 5 years old and she left the house, and evidently she got a little farther than they expected.
Do you have any idea how much territory your volunteers or searchers are covering?
A lot. We have so many out there that they've.
All right, very important. He goes, so she got a little farther than we first anticipated, thinking that she got lost on her own land, crossed the road, something like that. She would need help, would she not? Now let's go back to something Don said. I think it's when he was hanging with Cher or Benny Keys, one or the other. I can't remember. And he said that the TBI spoke to him and said they really needed him to work with Candace on her timeline. Then they said to Don, and they confronted Candace with it, not that it's a crime. They said, after you got home from all of your hippie housing that day, we know you left 2 more times. Why would that be a big deal? You hear Lawson. She got further away than we anticipated. Well, then she had help, in my opinion.
Broadened the scope. Plus, we've been able to utilize aircraft. THP's been wonderful with their helicopter and the medical helicopters with THP's FLIR at night. They've been flying today, and it's just outstanding how the community's come to help us, plus all the different resource agencies and the rescue squads and EMSs and all the law enforcement. And we just hope that we have a great result when we find Summer.
Have you gotten any leads?
At this time, we're following up on any and all leads. Again, thank you for being here. We encourage the public to call in any credible information to 1-800-TVI-FINE, and we continue to hold out hope for the best possible outcome. Thank you.
Night and day between the news conference. We know at this time, 9 different agencies were investigating. Okay, not just cue ball. We have FBI. We already have the card team involved who said there's no sign of abduction. None. We have Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. You know, in every state, an Amber Alert means something different. We talk about it on this show quite a bit when people say, why is there no Amber Alert? Okay, so they are at least hopeful, as you can see. Cue Ball and Miss Nice Eyelashes. They are hopeful. Hey, we are working. We're going to find Summer. We're investigating. We have all these agencies involved. We're not just leaving it up to Barney Fife over here. Then you hear Dawn. She's just gone. All right, another great video from our girl Criminal. I really wish she could come on this show. Tana, how have you been, girl? Girl, I'm glad you're here. And I agree with just me. She said, but no neglect charges. The only thing I can make out of that is that Dan Armstrong just might not be that tough of a DA. Because when they took the 3 boys, they didn't take them to get ice cream, okay? They took them for their own safety. But now the statute of limitations has run out to where they can't do anything about neglect and endangerment. And the only one that could have done it was Dan Armstrong, the district attorney.
Parents Don Wells and Candace Bly are not cooperating.
Not cooperating. Nope, they are not cooperating. Is that, I mean, that tells me a lot.
Knew that something was going to happen to something.
We had such a great love for each other.
I think she knew something too.
Not cooperating.
I have 7 alibis.
How sad. I mean, really, how sad. Dawn said, I always knew something was going to happen to her, and I think she knew too. What kind of fear was Summer living in to where she knew something might happen to her? That's not a common thought for anyone, much less a 5-year-old little girl that just likes to swing and twirl and play outside. He said, and I think she did too. Listen to it again.
Had such a great love for each other.
I think she knew something too.
Not cooperating.
I have 7 alibis.
Find her and
Candace ain't got none. She's going down.
And the reason that I wanted to do this interview, and initially me coming forward, was just in hope, that to find Summer.
And I'm so tired of Jeannie and Mary and Trish, people that have nothing to do with Summer's case. Okay, they do and they don't, being torn down by these crazies on the internet. I mean, Why add insult to injury? These people went through a horrible, horrible things by Dawn.
It just, when I found out she was missing, I mean, I got to tell you, I just started crying. And I just felt like they needed to know, you know, and obviously I did. I called CBI.
I was on a road trip quite a ways from home, and I heard it on the radio. And it was like I had to pull over and stop, and it just brought back every single memory. And it's amazing that I had put that so far behind me, and then just hearing that on the radio, the fear, just what did he do to her? He did that knowing he very well could get caught because there were so many people in the house. And I'm sure he knew my dad very well and knew that wouldn't have been tolerated. Mm-hmm. Imagine what he did to his own kids when there was nobody else in the house watching him, when he had no fear of getting caught. It's the way he thinks it's no big deal, and he was just I don't know what happened with Summer, but he has something to do with it. I'm 100% positive.
In summer, she had this long dress on, and she was doing flips in it, and you could see she had like this crusty on her.
But just the fact of his hand and his position of where he has it on her body, it would throw you off. Like you would look, if you're a parent, you would look at it and be like, but wait a minute, I don't hold my child like that. Why is he doing it? You know? So it was something off about that.
And I would ask him, I was like, did Daddy hurt? You know, she's like, she would just like make a pouty face. She wouldn't say that.
I could say just one harsh word to her and she would break down. I'd have to apologize to her 10 times over. All I remember is when I woke up is her feet and her foot being under me, kind of, you know.
Did she wake up? I was kind of laying on her foot a little bit and stuff, and I was like, my back, you know.
I remember her being there, and I covered her up a little bit, or whatever, and left. And she sleeps just right between me and Mom every night, you know.
And we were up there one time, and they were drinking and crap, and he took all her clothes off, and he had boxers on, and he was just holding her naked. And then they went downstairs, and Candace was like, yeah, because Donnie sleeps naked, and I had to put a cover over him.
That's a lot to hear. That's a lot to hear. When you get a child ready for bed, she's 5 years old, okay? And yes, Mom and Dad each, should change diapers, help kids put their shoes on, stuff like that. But at 5 years old, he had no business taking her clothes off of her, according to True, because she was there, I was not, getting her naked to get her to bed. She should have had cute little jammies. And it's a lot to hear. And at first I thought the whole Candace saying, oh, I got to put a cover over Don because he sleeps naked. She said butt naked. He sleeps butt naked. I gotta put cover on him. I thought, oh, here we go again, Candace. It was just too gross for my mind to think about. Then we look at what was going on in Springdale, Arkansas, when Dawn was there working, and someone called the police because they had kids in their room. Police showed up. Candace said, hold on, I got to tell him to put some clothes on because he sleeps naked.
Well, sometimes me and Candace spot, you know.
I personally wouldn't want Dawn's greasy ass on my sheets, but that's just me.
I'm not going to lie to y'all. Our marriage ain't perfect. We fight. Bitch.
Oh, they just seen that. They just seen you punch me in my throat.
Whatever. One thing I know about Summer is she would say, stop. stop. Hey, let's get along.
And so he used a old trick to where he would ask you to say stop. Is that correct?
Yes.
Stop.
Because
Okay,
I said,
hold up. I'm using Summer's words. Stop.
Well, I have to take a shower every night because I work in drywall.
Right.
So I'm like, get your little podcast in here, and we'd all rinse off together real quick. You know, I don't want my little girl with freaking candy all over her sleeping next to me. You know, and plus she ain't gonna sleep good unless she's clean. I did it out of love.
How big is your shower?
I mean, it's like one of them, you know, I don't know, it's not that big. It's kind of hard to fit. I've had every one of my kids in there with me. They're all of them, all four of them plus me.
He said, all four of them plus me. He said, I do drywall, so I got to take a shower every day. I don't think it really matters what job you have to do. Hygiene's kind of a daily activity, don't you think? Now, don't get me going about shaving my legs, because in the wintertime, no. The time's coming where Brooks has to get her toenails done and start shaving all the way up, if you know what I mean. All right? But this, I do drywall, so I gotta shower every night. Candace don't like to shower.
Had such a great love for each other. She loved me, and I don't know why I've never had someone love me that much.
He said, she just loved me, and I've never had someone love me that much. Now, before that, he said, I did it out of love. Did what? Did what? Bathing your children is a normal thing. Very. But I just did it out of love.
In my life. And so it's been awesome, you know, between me and her. And
She loved me unconditionally. She loved me more than nobody has loved me like my daughter has, except for God himself.
It just blew my mind.
Yeah.
You know, could love an asshole like me, but she loved me.
Candace was jealous of that little baby.
Why though? Why would?
Because that baby was getting Donnie's attention.
Anyone agree with that? What Leslie said? May she rest in peace. She said Candace was jealous of Summer. Many people have said it just out of, what do they say? Speculation. But she was getting Donnie's attention and Candace didn't like it. Woo!
Why she was just so attached to me like that. I've never had anything like that happen to me before. And I was just so thankful, you know, I was just, thank God, you know. Yeah. I've never had anybody love me like that. And when I had her.
Hold on, our friend, I said free. Our friend, D Presents TC, she said that's a different type of love. D, you did a really interesting video the other day, and I meant to reach out to you. I apologize I didn't. I've had some things going on, but I would love to go through it on my show if it's okay with you. And of course, anytime you want to grab the link and come up, fine. Now, when I think about Leslie, and she's got her finger pointing at the table, saying, I'm telling you, Candace was jealous of Summer because Donnie was giving more attention to Summer. And someone says, I'm telling you, it means they know.
I parade her around like, yeah, this little girl is my girl. She loves me. Ha ha ha. You know, now I don't have that.
Y'all don't understand. Everybody thinks oh, poor Summer, poor Summer. Well, Summer loves her
daddy.
Well, I wished I knew.
Can you believe he said that? Everyone keeps saying, poor Summer, but I'm telling you, Summer loves her effing daddy. Not to put a sick picture in your mind, he's a full grown man, 6'2", 6'3". Summer's 5. So let's just imagine where she comes up to on him in the shower. Okay? It's a shower, my friends.
Who would buy a kid? I wished I knew that.
I remember many times throughout my life, girls hitting on me. I've been to places in California where I've been to some places where there were little kids, where people were trying to sell these little kids.
Tyler, where would you even look? Well, I got the police this, and they were just dumbfounded.
Yeah, well, there's all kinds of places that you can look, but
I even asked them if I could pose as a sicko for them and see what we could come up with. They're like, "Oh no."
Ew. Token. Great comment. Stephen Stearns thought Maddie loved him too. We spoke last Friday about Audrey Cunningham, Don Stephen McDougal. Said to Audrey's mother before he killed Audrey, I'm her favorite person. She loves me the most.
But
I knew 4 to 5 months prior that something was going to happen to Summer because an angel told me.
Okay, he knew 4 to 5 months prior that something was going to happen to Summer because an angel told him. Not Angel P. He said, I think she knew it too. Not talking about the angel, he's talking about Summer. All right, 4 to 5 months prior. Summer disappeared in June. So this would be at the first of the year, 2021. What was going on? With the domestic violence call between Jose and Don, I have a feeling they had a visit from CPS. Did something escalate in January? I don't know. Kat OG, who is back from Greece, how was it? How was it? She said, tell OJ the cats in Greece are jealous of his lifestyle. Oh, OJ, come here, please.
she would be kidnapped?
Never, not like that.
Okay.
No.
I hope this is over soon, and I hope they find her. And
it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna.
Yeah.
This is gonna be an ongoing fucking thing, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Can't be mad at law enforcement either because they was thinking the same things that you told that everybody else was, and we've all been down that road. I even remember questioning myself at one point.
Would you want to see this person in prison?
I don't know if I could do that, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
It just depends on all the circumstances,
Somebody has hurt her, probably, maybe out of her, probably killed her.
What do you think should happen?
I have to leave it to God, and I know what prison's like.
Yeah.
There's nothing about it. They're not gonna find her.
Yeah.
She's being treated somewhere or dead. I don't know which.
And I have mercy for anybody who's in prison.
And because of all the pressure and YouTube and the TV shows and everything else, they probably wanted to get rid of the evidence and they probably killed her.
You think
think you're gonna be the person in the end that gets in trouble for someone?
Oh, it's very possible. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just Christopher Lewis, you know.
Okay. Cher asked him, do you think you will get in trouble for what happened to Summer? And he goes, well, it's very possible. He goes, yeah, it's a risk. Okay. Okay. That's crazy. It's a risk. I'm going to listen to that again.
Yeah, I don't know which. And I have mercy for anybody who's in prison. And because of all the pressure and YouTube and the TV shows and everything else, they probably wanted to get rid of the evidence and they probably killed her.
Do you think you're gonna be the person in the end that gets in trouble for someone?
Oh, it's very possible, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just Christopher Lewis, you know, and all that stuff, yeah. But you know what? I'll gladly take that fall for my daughter's life. Even though I'm not guilty of it.
The ending statement was, he'll probably have to take the fall. Why? Listen to this statement again, because I know it's a lot to unpack.
All the pressure and YouTube and the TV shows and everything else, they probably wanted to get rid of the evidence and they probably killed her.
Do you think you're gonna be the person in the end that gets in trouble for someone?
Oh, it's very possible, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just Christopher Lewis, you know.
He said it's just a risk. It would never cross my mind. It would never cross my mind that I was going to get in trouble because I can't find my child. What risk? You have to have evidence for charges, prosecution, and conviction.
And all that stuff, yeah. But you know what? I'll gladly take that fall for my daughter's life. Even though I'm not guilty of it.
So he says, even though I'm not guilty of it, I'll have to take the fall for my daughter's life. What? This is a couple of months after Summer went missing. We're still in 2021. He said, even though I'm not guilty of it. Guilty of what? But he says, my daughter's life. How do you know she's not amongst the living, Dawn? And this show, Criminal, the way she puts together her videos and everything, she spends a lot of time on it. Go check her out. She has a lot. And for a lot of us that have been following the case forever and a day, they're good reminders. This statement upsets me to my core. Either he is covering for someone else that's holding something over his head, which could be a lot of people, not going to lie. But to say, I'll take the fall for my daughter's life, even though I'm not guilty of it. Even though previously he said he didn't want anyone to go to jail for this because he knows what jail time is like. Woo! This is a lot to go through. This is a lot. Again, I am tickled pink, and it's not even Wednesday that you guys are all here for Summer Wells. You have no idea how amazing that is. Because like I said, YouTube is 24/7. Hey, CNN and Fox don't have shit on YouTube. we're live all the time. There's always something going on. It's somewhere, it's something somewhere. But for you to take time out of your day to hang with amazing people and keep advocating for Summer Wells is amazing. Thank you, Mod Squad. And I'll tell you what, you all, it was like Christmas in here for this channel. Look at all these long-term members, super stickers, gifting memberships. You guys are absolutely amazing. Kat said, am I customer service rep today then? Yes, I already got a ding on my phone. I have an email. I have a feeling it's from my smart ass husband. And Pat's not in here today, so you're on call. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you for being the best friends that a channel creator could have. Just love that term. And I'm working on a video, putting it out today. It's not going to be anything like what Criminal does, but you know, we'll still get to chat with each other. And then be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Or I'll see you in Discord or one of the Facebook groups. Again, don't forget about Summer. Keep her name out there. And if you can, share this video in your Summer Wells groups, your true crime groups, because I think we unpacked a lot of information today because, well, you guys are the best. Love you. See you soon.